Imagine stepping into a medieval castle kitchen in the dead of winter. The room is alive with smoke, heat and chaos, yet danger lurks in every corner. Fires roar in massive hearths, filling the air with heat so intense it can scald skin instantly. Sharp knives and cleavers lie everywhere, tools of survival, but also instruments of accidental death. Piles of heavy pots, cauldrons and boiling liquids teeter on uneven surfaces, ready to tip at the slightest misstep. And yet this was the heart of the castle, the only place reliably warm in an otherwise freezing stone fortress. Peasants, servants and cooks navigated this treacherous space daily, balancing the need to feed hundreds with the constant threat of injury, or worse. The very act of cooking was a calculated risk, a dance between fire and metal, between smoke-filled air and the instinct to survive. How did they manage this chaotic environment? How did they avoid disaster when every step, every movement carried mortal risk? Understanding these kitchens reveals not only the ingenuity of medieval people, but also the hidden hazards of life behind the castle walls, a world where warmth and danger were inseparably intertwined. Medieval castle kitchens were more than mere cooking spaces. They were hubs of logistics, labour and hierarchy. Large kitchens fed dozens, sometimes hundreds of residents and soldiers, which required immense planning, coordination and manpower. Ingredients came from local farms, hunts and distant markets, and needed immediate processing to prevent spoilage. Kitchens were constructed from stone or timber, with massive hearths at their centre, designed to hold enormous cauldrons of boiling water or stew. Smoke ventilation was primitive, meaning the air quickly became acrid, making breathing difficult and reducing visibility. Floors were uneven, often wet from melting ice, spilt water, or cleaning routines, turning every step into a potential hazard. Fires were constant, both for cooking and for warming the room, creating the perfect conditions for burns and accidental fires. Staff included specialized cooks, assistants and servants, each responsible for different tasks, often navigating crowded spaces while carrying hot liquids or sharp implements. Understanding the physical and social structure of these kitchens helps us grasp why accidents were so common, why strict routines were enforced, and why surviving the winter inside a castle required not only skill, but constant vigilance. The hidden logic of medieval kitchen survival lies in a combination of fire mastery, careful coordination, and improvisation. Fires were stoked using wood, peat, or charcoal, each chosen for heat output and duration. Cooks learned to control flame intensity by layering fuel, adjusting airflow, and rotating cauldrons. Tools were used with precision. Knives for meat and vegetables, hooks for moving hot pots, and tongs for handling coals. Food preparation was timed meticulously. Boiling meat required careful attention to prevent spills, while large roasts demanded constant turning over open flames. Floors were swept and rinsed to reduce slips, but wet stone remained perilous. Staff often developed silent signals or routines to avoid collisions, moving in choreographed patterns that balanced efficiency and safety. Smoke, though hazardous, was harnessed. Hanging herbs in the haze preserved them while adding flavour. Even lighting relied on ingenuity. Tallow candles and rushlights illuminated workspaces but could ignite nearby flammable materials. This technical knowledge was rarely written down, transmitted orally and through observation. The brilliance was subtle. Survival depended on understanding physics, chemistry, and human behaviour, a constant negotiation with fire, heat, and human error, making the kitchen both a life-sustaining space and a dangerous arena. Modern kitchens owe much to lessons learned the hard way in medieval castles. Fire management, workspace organization, and food preservation remain critical principles in both domestic and survival contexts. Understanding fuel types, heat distribution, and safe handling of hot liquids can prevent accidents and optimize cooking efficiency today. The medieval approach to teamwork, silent coordination and defined roles mirrors modern professional kitchens and disaster response strategies. Knowledge of preservation techniques like smoking, salting and fermenting informs contemporary practices for off-grid survival or long-term food storage. Even simple precautions like maintaining dry, uncluttered floors and clear pathways reflect centuries of trial and error in environments where a single mistake could be fatal. By studying medieval kitchens, we see how humans adapted to extreme conditions, creating systems that balance survival, nutrition, and safety. The past provides a blueprint for efficiency, risk management, and ingenuity under pressure, demonstrating that lessons learned in chaos and danger remain relevant in modern life, whether in professional kitchens, emergency preparedness, or sustainable living practices. The shocking reality of medieval castle kitchens teaches us that survival often depended on skill, awareness, and constant vigilance. What appears as chaos to the modern eye was a highly structured, albeit perilous environment where fire, heat, and sharp tools demanded respect. Every meal prepared was an act of calculated risk, every step a negotiation between life and injury. Reflecting on this reminds us how far human ingenuity can stretch to overcome danger and scarcity, turning a potentially lethal environment into a space that sustains life. Today, while our kitchens are safe and controlled, the principles remain: respect fire, organize space, preserve resources, and work collectively. Understanding this hidden history offers insight not only into medieval life, but into the timeless human capacity to adapt, innovate, and survive under extreme conditions. The castle kitchen was more than a cooking space. It was a crucible of skill and resilience, a testament to the intelligence embedded in everyday survival. By studying it, we uncover lessons that are as practical now as they were dangerous then, a reminder that knowledge and caution can turn chaos into sustenance and danger into mastery.